And of course, I gave you my welcome greeting like I do a lot, and I was muted the whole time. So I was happy and cheerful, and now I got to say it again. Took away the enthusiasm. So basically, I'm here with you guys, and I'm going to send out to everybody that we are live, and I'll be with you guys in one moment. We are... Almost ready for you guys. Just sharing that we are live. And as you can see, this is how easy it is to navigate our trade rooms, right? Let everybody know just by clicking on the trade room, we're live, and then we get down to business. All right, back to back. Here we go. All right, so we're going to build the watch list for tomorrow and see what is going on, see if there's any potential plays. If you guys were watching me this morning, you know, being a pattern trader, again, I am more of a pattern trader. Again, everybody's trading style is different. Some people like to trade quick parabolic pump and dump movers. I'm more of a pattern trader. But again, you can trade parabolic movers using patterns by slowing down the charts using a 5-minute setup, right? So if a stock hits trade ideas and it goes parabolic, you can go quick and be like a trader like a Dan or a David and trade that thing real quick scalp move using a 1-minute chart. Or if that's something that you're not comfortable with, hold on. I always get distracted. Random person. The real question, how was the damn pizza last night? Oh, it was so good. I ate so much pizza. Oh, man. And now I'm going over to my buddy's house tonight. So now I got to, this time tonight, so see, now you got me distracted. I'm never going to get Watchlist done in time. Now tonight, I got invited over to my buddy's house for a big Italian dinner. So now, not only do I get pizza last night, I get a big Italian dinner tonight. So now I got to figure out how to end this watch list quick enough so I can get over there in time to get the big Italian dinner. So I love that. What's up, Todd? All right. So what was I saying? All right. You can trade parabolic movers by slowing them down if you're not a quick scalper, right? If you don't want to be in and out of a trade within a minute or 30 seconds or 15 seconds, slow it down by pulling up a 5-minute chart. The 5-minute chart slows down the trade and enables you to find the patterns. Yes, I am a piggy. I love food. So, and I want to take a moment just kind of talk to you guys about this with the patterns, right? So we talk a lot about trading, right? We all know by now, don't need to hammer home the fact that, you know, it's impossible to predict what a trade's going to do, right? Warren Buffett does not know what the stock market's going to do, but Warren Buffett still makes investments, right? So why would he do something like that and invest billions of dollars into the market if he didn't know what he's going to do or what it's going to do? Because Warren Buffett, just like many of the top traders, and if you want to become a successful trader, trades in probabilities, right? Trading is all about probabilities. So even though you can't predict what a stock's going to do, when you find these patterns and these support and resistance levels, you can put the probabilities more in your favor by knowing, again, the patterns, the support and resistance, and you can put the odds in your favor by trading those patterns. I like to use the analogy of the casino, right? How many people have probably told you if you've gotten into trading, oh, you're getting into the stock market, or you're becoming a day trader, or you're buying stocks. Oh, if you're buying stocks, that's gambling, right? I've heard that a million times, right? I'm sure a bunch of you guys have as well, right? But I kind of like to use the analogy of going to the casino, right? Trading the stock market, if you know what you're doing, is not like trading the slot machines, right? It's not like going in and putting $1 or $10 in the machine, pulling down the slide, and then hoping that you make money, right? You can use an analogy of going in, let's say, blackjack at the casino, right? If you don't know what blackjack, you're kind of just guessing, back and forth on your on your hand, that's going to be a little bit more gambling, right? But if you learned how to count cards, you studied counting cards, you know how to count the decks, you become really smart in counting that deck, you put the time and effort in and researching how to count cards, a deck, and all that. Now you're learning a skill, right? So now you might not know what the next card is going to be dropped on that. Or like, again, there's going to be times you don't know, again, what that card is going to be. And those odds can go against you, but you also know how to put your odds in the favor because you've learned a skill set. So it's like, again, even though you can't predict what's going to happen, you've putting the odds in the favor, right? So it's not like going to a slot machine and putting in $1 and, whatever, you hit or miss. It's kind of putting those odds more in your favor, learning that skill set. And if you learn that skill set, you're able to put those odds more in your favor. And that's how basically you can talk about, with these patterns, right? Again, it's probabilities. These patterns form important support and resistance levels, which puts trading odds in your favor using probabilities. And that's why billionaires like Warren Buffett and George Soros, we love you, Warren Buffett. We love you, George Soros. That's why those guys can make tremendous amounts of money in the stock market, even though they don't know what it's going to do. And that's what we're trying to teach you with the Bullish Bears, is learning how to trade in probables, right? And teaching you how to trade in probables. So when we make these watch lists, right, we're just looking at probables. We're looking at support, resistance, and patterns, and what is the probability of that stock going up, or what is the probability of that stock going down based upon patterns, right? If we predict, you can see in green days that are going up like this, if we're predicting with the right probable bullish patterns, then the odds are going to be more in our favor, right? If we predict bearish, if we're taking a whole bearish side of stocks on our watch list while the market is going up and just randomly doing that, then it's going against the probabilities, right? So you're kind of going, and then you have a day like this, right? So a day like today, now you have a doji. Doji shows indecisions. Indecisions days, it can, again, you have to see what happens. So what you might think might go up might trade sideways or get messy that day, right? Let me see. That thing was amount. Did you have to appreciate covering today? Very helpful for newbies like me to figure out the game. Made first paper trading on here in Awesome job. Awesome job, Ann. See, guys, I get so distracted. I talk to you guys and then I get distracted. So my whole point being, guys, is we're trying to teach you how to trade improbables. And that is the stock market, right? So that's where you can take away the fear of, oh my God, I don't know what a stock is going to do, to, hey, I don't know what a stock's going to do, but I've learned, I've done the research, I know support and resistance. I can see the probabilities of a stock potentially moving up to this area. And that's why I'm going to limit my risk by having proper stop loss levels, so that if the odds go against you, you cut your losses, right? And that's where that's why it's so important to have a 2-to-1 at minimum profit loss ratio. So if you're risking 10 cents on that trade, you want to have the probability of potentially making 20 cents. Even though that trade could go against you, which happens, it's okay. You've learned to manage your risk so that the more 20-cent gains that you have over your 10-cent losses, then you can still be a profitable trader. Ideally, you'd like to have 3-to-1, risk 10 cents to make 30, but you want to have at least a 2-to-1 profit loss ratio. Sorry, I'm coughing. Let me see. I'll pull up here really quick for you guys. I didn't take a look at it today. We'll see what's going on with it. And there you go. Look at that. Bada boom. Why did here break out? We were looking at this the other day. We love AI. We love artificial intelligence. We love YouTube. We love Facebook. We love Google. So why did HEAR break out? HER broke out as there was this kind of this bull pennant pattern. And, you know, again, doesn't mean it's going to break out, but as you see this higher lows being formed, you got your trend lines here. It's a clearly defined pattern that you're able to put those probabilities more in your favor. You can see I was talking about this one either yesterday or the day before. I think we had it on our watch list, right? And what happened? It went and broke out. There's a clearly defined pattern, right? Whereas you look at over here, where's your pattern over in here? It's trading sideways, right? What's your pattern right here? It's a mess, right? But then you start seeing it. What is your pattern here? Well, maybe it's kind of forming a little bit of an ascending triangle. Okay, that's a pattern I can look at. What happened up here? It kind of gets up, gets all messy. It's trading in this triangle. Bull pennant. All right, here we go. Price holds the 9 EMA, breaks out. Now here you go. At this point, here's support at 2045. This doji candle. And if that fails, then obviously look at the trend lines, you know, this angular trend line down, right? Support and resistance. And this is exactly what I've been telling you guys about, is trading in probabilities with support, resistance, and patterns. Alrighty. So that's here. So here, very overextended. Obviously, it's still been going up when it's overextended. If you want to see that if it's going to continue, I mean it's has room to run. It's overextended on the weekly. On the daily, it's overextended. So for here to run, you want to see it get above that 2157 level and continue upwards. Realize that there's support around that 2050. Would I put this on the watch list? I don't. I try to avoid putting something that's very overextended like this on the watch list. I would watch for a pullback right here. Watch if there's a bull flag, hold support, and then wait for a pullback and then take it. But could this thing go tomorrow and break above 2157? Sure. Just realize if it breaks above 2157, you want to ideally see it continue. And then 2157 area would be support. Whenever resistance breaks, it then becomes support. All right. Let's see what we can see for tomorrow. For the watch list, you'll see all of our alerts went off today. Some of them better than others. You'll see today, I haven't checked really what happened this afternoon with most of them, but today was one of those grinds. I'm a pattern trader, so today we were just kind of talking. Today we were showing you more of the bear side of things, right? Looking at bear flags, because we had 3 stocks on the watch list, 3 of the pot stocks that were doing nothing. So actually, let's do that real quick. Let's pull up and see what those did for the rest of the day. They were crappy when I had them on the watch list earlier. So what did it do? You know, right here. You can see this one, ACBFF. Yeah, pumped right at the open, and then it just really went down, right? And you can see it just went, you know, green to red, and what has it done? Just trade sideways and kind of crappy looking all day. Cron was on the watch list as well. What did that do? Again, failed pre-market highs over here and just dumped and trade sideways all day. Again, same pattern as ACBFF. Can, the most garbage pump and dump stock that there is. What did that do? Same exact thing. At the open, timber, and then boom, 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 trade sideways. But wait a second, these things should be going up. They're pot stocks. Canada's legalizing. They should all be going up. Why isn't it going up? Why is it going up and then dumping? Because it's all about support and resistance, right? Got to know these patterns. And sometimes like these ones are very challenging to trade because the patterns on a stock like these pump and dumps are very challenging because you're going to miss the move. Like right now, you can see right here, look at this entire chart, garbage all the way down here. You would have never caught this move unless you had a trade ideas. And then it hits trade ideas. So if I was making this watch list tonight and I didn't have this green candlestick here, I would probably just completely ignore it because it's failing the 200 SMA. But then look, boom, it smacks and hits trade ideas, and then it catches everybody. Everybody's scrambling to get in. So that's where when you're seeing these pump and dumps, we're trying to get you those patterns to trade in probabilities, but sometimes you miss them, and that's why we have a scanner like Trade Ideas that picks the stuff that we miss. So when we make our watch list, if it takes a while or some of them are not moving in the morning, Trade Ideas will pick up the momentum. Then we're able to then say, okay, we can't necessarily get the daily pattern, but now I can zoom in to, let's say, a 5-minute chart, and then I can say, okay, let me find the patterns intraday and see if I can find a bull flag pattern or a, you can see like these, here's a bull flag, comes back down right here, bull flag back down. You want to see these patterns so you can, again, you can maybe missed it. You didn't catch it the night before, but you can catch it intraday and, buy at support levels, moving average lines near the 9 EMA, sell at resistance levels, right? Trading in probables. Is Trade Ideas good for beginner level? So Trade Ideas, phenomenal scanner, but don't buy something at a beginner level. Use ours, get comfortable with it. Use our watch list first, get comfortable trading. Then when you have the budget, then buy Trade Ideas. Do we want you to buy Trade Ideas from us? Absolutely. We have an affiliate partnership. We love that, but we don't want people wasting their money if they're a beginner trader. Use ours. We post on our members. We post our free scan each day so people can use it. And then when you have the budget, you feel comfortable, then pick up your own copy and tailor it how you'd like. So we love Trade Ideas. They're awesome. Just don't waste money on it unless you have the budget and you're knowing what you're doing trading. So, all right, ONTX. This one right here, you can see kind of a cup pattern forming here. You'll see holding its highs, a bit overextended on RSI. And what I'm looking at is right here, that 72 cent gap to this at 77. So you could watch and see if the gap is going to fill on this. So again, the likelihood is this may pump up and fill the gap. It's only maybe a potential 6-cent move, but it could still continue, right? So now you can see, okay, this is one to maybe watch. A cup here, maybe it forms a cup and handle or goes and breaks out. Again, overextended, might have a continuation day. If it breaks out, it has to break above that 77 level, fill that gap to continue. So I will put it on as a watch, but you want to see it continue after filling that gap. So the probabilities will be at some point, this is going to want to fill that gap. But once it fills that gap, many of times it fails those gaps. You could have a pump back up, but if it breaks up, it's going to come back down at some point, especially with these small gaps, and probably retest that gap. And many times it fails. Right? So ONTX, and above 71 cents. So price is at base of gap. Watch if gap fills at 77 cents and continues upwards. ONTX. Ideally, I'd like to see more of a gap fill. But again, you can still look at this, 6 cents, big deal. But you could also look and say, hey, it's only 70 cents. So if I got 6 cents and I bought 5,000 shares of it, that's a $300 move, right? I think that's, yeah, right. Makes sense. So this is one of those things you can look at and be like, okay, not a big deal of a 5 or 6 cents move. But if I bought 5,000 shares of it, that could be $250 with a quick gap fill, right? Ideally, I'd like to see you guys be able to get 15, 20 cents, but this is not a $3 or $4 or $5 stock. It's only a 70-cent stock. So you'll see many of the penny stock companies out there that want to make a move. There might be a trader out there that comes in and buys 20,000 shares of this stock tomorrow just to make the 5 cents. And that's what, $1,000, right? So, if you see, a trading company out there or a penny stock company, and they're like, oh, I just made $1,000 on ONTX, they may have bought 20,000 shares to make 5 cents, right? They make $1,000. They scalp it, right? Awesome to hear, Todd. Love it. All right. I got to breeze through this here because I've rambled and I'm getting behind. All right. Another thing you're going to find, again, I'm going to go off here. When you're building the watch list, sometimes it's difficult to build a good watch list when you have a doji candle like this. Indecision, bulls and the bears. So then you're going to see this indecision many of the times on the stuff that I put on the watch list. So that's why I'm kind of going through, and it's like, I'm not liking some of the stuff I'm seeing right now. It's kind of choppy and stuff because, again, like stuff like this, it kind of goes up and comes back down. It gets a little messier. So when you're trying to see right here, it goes up, pulls back, sometimes it's harder to build a watch list. Goes up, pulls back down. That doji candle on the market affects stocks, right? And that's why we have a scanner like Trade Ideas, so that if the watch list, if it doesn't do much, we look at the scanner. What do I have to do to get TOS to hit me at 495? So what you'd want to do is call TOS, get a rep on the line, and say, hello, Mr. or Mrs. TOS rep. I really love you as a broker, and I have another brokerage account that I'd like to potentially move over to you guys, but I'm only being charged $4.95 over there, and you're charging me $9.95. Will you guys, match that rate? And then they're going to ask you questions. Okay, what is in your other brokerage account? And you can say, I'd prefer not to say what's in that other brokerage account. And they're going to say, oh, okay, that's fair. And then you're going to compliment them again. Thinkorswim, I really love yours. And if everything goes well and you can match my rate, I would consider moving my account over to you down the road. And that rep's probably going to say, okay, let me take down your information and I'll probably send you an email within 24 to 48 hours and let you know. You do that process properly, then you're probably going to get approval for $4.95 commission rates. If you don't, then I would call back Thinkorswim or a week or two later, get a different rep on the line, do that same process, and then you'll be able to get usually that $4.95 rate. Got me? Does that make sense for you, random person? But it doesn't, even though Thinkorswim's not an investment account, trust me, I've done it several times. They're really good. You just got to know what to say. And again, give them the information that they need, not all of it. You love them. You would love to bring more money over to them. How much is in your other account with that other broker? I'd prefer not to say, but I consider bringing over it later. Okay. And there you go. Correct. Thinkorswim has definitely the best charting, not the greatest trading platform. That's why you'll see I'm always just showing you guys with the charts. I love the charts. Eventually, we'll get a big enough clout, hopefully, in our community. We'll eventually get through their corporate and find somebody to sit down with and be like, hey, we have a massive community. Everybody loves you. Nobody would leave if you could fix your very simple. Fix your hotkeys, make them editable, get better locates on shorts, and a couple little minor tweaks, and then nobody would leave. Make your commissions a little bit better as well. That's it. But right now, they probably don't care about us. But they will at some point. That's why keep sending your friends to join up, and we'll eventually get some clout. Guys, this watch list is garbage right now. These stocks are really ugly. All right, so this one is one I would potentially watch. See, it's right near that resistance, that 200 SMA. So you can kind of see an inverse head and shoulders-ish, I would say. A left, where is it? A left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder, the neckline right here. Then it breaks out a little bit, extends up here, then it extends up here. So a lot of times the neckline and inverse head and shoulders will extend, and then there's a gap right up over in here. So you guys see that it just, the neckline kind of on this pattern continues up. Is that a perfect inverse head and shoulders? No, but you can kind of see, right? Support, resistance, watch it go up, needs to get above that 200 SMA. And then continue upward. So at this point, let's put it on as a, what is it? A bit over extended inverse head and shoulders. Watch if price can get above 200 SMA and continue. PACB. Want to see it get above that 200 SMA, continue up, and then you can see those resistance levels, and then obviously a gap, right? Watch for a potential gap fill at $4. Oh. All right, let's do that. PACB. A lot of you guys are chatting, which is great. For those watching the replay, you're probably thinking I'm talking to myself, but I'm not. I'm talking to the people that are talking on the live stream, so I'm not talking to voices in my head. People are chatting on the chat in here. All right, so what do I think about this one? Yeesh. These patterns are just ugly today, just garbage. But again, doji day today, Friday tomorrow. Doji's indecision. Fridays are many of times a challenging day to trade, right? So there's no coincidence why that doji is affecting today, with tomorrow also being a Friday. All right, so this one might be interesting to watch right here, because there was a gap here on the daily between 55 cents to 70 cents. Garbage looking pattern trading sideways, but EMAs are pinching, green candle, getting some volume, might get a pump up to potentially fill that gap. So this is one to keep an eye on between, what is that, 55 cents to 70 cents. So what is this one? 51, 52.52. So watch if price gets a pump up to fill gap between 55 cents to 70 cents. Right? So watch if price gets a pump up to fill gap between 55 cents to 70 cents. 55 cents right here, this gap to 70 cents. Watch if price will get a pump up out of here to fill that gap. That's PULM. Irina says, I just want to say thank you for all your training, live feed, chats, and videos. I was able to close my position on a very long trade from 6 months ago because it collapsed today to lock my profit. Love to hear that. Love it, love it, love it. Awesome to hear. NXPI. Let me take a look. NXPI. Here we go. It's a big one. What is my opinion on this? Whoa, boy. Oof, that is a gappy looking chart over here. What is your, it has a gap below to fill, but I'm wondering if it will happen, right? So now we're going to talk about probabilities. What is the probability of that gap filling? That's a good question because there's gaps all over the place on this one. Now you have this kind of gap up, this red candle down. You can see right here, if you draw a line across here, why did it stall and show indecision here? Well, look at the pattern. Left shoulder-ish, head area here, right shoulder-ish, neckline. It's at resistance. So at this point, it could go either way, right? I'm like any stock could go up or down, but you have to get the price. You want to see this get above that neckline area and then continue up, and you can see some resistance. At this point, this is a very big indecision candle, right? So I just don't like that chart. Can it go up? Absolutely. Could it come back down? Absolutely. There's definitely this gap down, but it might gap up first. Tomorrow or another day, it can gap up here, hit some resistance, then come back and fill. So at some point, it may want to fill that gap. Is it going to happen right away? You know, you have to see. Price has to get above this area. If it rejects, then look for a potential short down to fill that gap. If you guys are talking about interactive brokers is $10,000 minimum to open an account. And I think if you're below the age of, I don't know if it's 25 or 26, then I believe it's 2,500 or 2,000. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if you're over the age of 25 or 26, I believe it's over 10,000 to get an account. I am not 25 or 26. So I had to put at least 10 grand in. All right. Okay, so this one might be one to look at. TRXC. So this one, a little bit messy. So you can see up top here, it's kind of almost a double top-ish pattern, double top-ish. You can see you had that little candle in the middle. Then it kind of failed over right in here, kind of on the bottom, or you can say a head and shoulders, right? A head up here, left shoulder, right shoulder. Again, patterns are not always going to be perfect. You kind of got to gauge an eyeball and see. So you can kind of see right here, there is a price needs to get above that left shoulder and continue up. You see a close above the 9 over here. If it can break above 350, there's room to potentially run to 4. Again, if it gets above this left shoulder, might continue. I wouldn't have liked it right over in here, but now you get a prop up. I just don't like head and shoulders, but you can see after hours, it did reject. Now it did reject after hours right around that 350. I just don't like head and shoulders. Not to take on the, oh, me? What is my net worth? Are you Buffett status yet? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I am not rich. I am not poor. I am just middle class. All right. I have enough to put in the brokerage account, but I don't have big tons of money in my account. All right. Let's see here. LBUY. It's too much resistance up here. I don't like it. LIQT. I just don't like the pattern. So you can start to see, is it kind of bull flagging back? And is it going to form a pennant? Can it break out? And then it's got to deal with all these wicks. It gets really messy and crazy. CHK. Again, if you guys are noticed, these patterns are they're really messy today. And they're messy because you have that crazy looking doji on the market. It's the battle of that bulls and the bears, and then it plays out for this candle that you see on these charts. And that's why it can be very tricky. So this is one to keep an eye on right here because of a pattern. You can see kind of a double bottom, a bottom here and a bottom here. You can almost say even a triple bottom, 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 or you can kind of do a line like this and say a cup. Whatever you want to call it, you can see resistance right up in these areas right over here, right? Then you can say, well, let's draw my lines over here. You can kind of see a handle over here. So this might be a cup and handle. Watch if it can break out above 275 and get above $3. At least it's a pattern. It's something to look at. So this is one I would put on just to keep an eye on that. How would I write this here? Let's see. 268. Yeah, good point, trade. I'm going to tell you about that in a second. So, excuse me. Cup and handle on the daily, price and handle. Watch for potential breakout and see if price can break $3 above here, right? So prices in the handle, watch if it can break out of the handle, get above $3 and continue. That's NOG. Give me a second. I got to text my friend, guys. I got to see if I can come to dinner a little bit late because I've rambled a little bit too much. So I got to text my buddy and say, hey, buddy, is 6:30 too late? There we go. We shall see. So TradeWorks says, I think that most successful day traders are in the same boat, but not any of us get rich, but we make a very good living. For me, it's more like lifestyle. I like to trade. Exactly, right? So you got to, again, I was using this analogy earlier today, right? So, you know, if some guru or somebody says they have, you know, or not even any group, me, let's say my goal is to make $1,000 a day. Should that be your same goal? I mean, who doesn't want to make $1,000 a day, right? Sure. If you want to make the same amount as me, great. So now you're wanting to be like me, right? You want to be like me. You want to make $1,000 a day because my goal is $1,000 a day, right? But what if I have, excuse me, what if I have $100,000 in my brokerage account and you only have $5,000? And now we're looking at a stock like NOG. And with NOG, I'm looking to make 10 cents on that trade. And I can come in and buy 10,000 shares of NOG. If I buy 10,000 shares of NOG and make 10 cents on this handle breakout, 10,000 shares times 10 cents is $1,000. So because I had $100,000 in my brokerage account, I'm not saying that's what I have, by the way, I was able to make 10 cents because I had the capital to do 10 1,000 shares times $2.68, which is what, 26,800. I think I did my math. So I was able to put in 26,800 to make 10 cents to make $1. I put in 26,800 to make my 1,000. So great, I made $1,000. You come in and you copy me with your $5,000 account, let's say. I'm just giving you random numbers. You make 10 cents, the same exact trade as me, and you made $100. Now, many people will think, well, I'm mad I didn't make 1,000 like Lucian. I only made 100. But guess what? You made the same trade as me. The only reason why I made more is because I had 100,000 on my account and you only had, let's say, 5,000. So at the end of the day, your goal shouldn't be to copy a guru and make the same thing as them. Your goal is to have your own personal daily goal, hit that, grow your account, slowly grow it, be patient, and not try to copy anyone else. And the reason why, people out there can make $10,000 or $15,000 in a day is because they might have 100 plus in their brokerage account. Simple, right? So many people will beat themselves up when they actually can make the same successful trade as a guru. They just have less money in their brokerage accounts, and it's just going to take them time to grow it. Can you grow 5,000 from your account to a 100 plus account? Sure. Is it going to take you a long time? Yes. Is it going to take you a lot of studying and hard work? Absolutely. Right? Yeah, $1,000 a day is for sure a good, is a definitely a great goal. Who doesn't want to make $1,000 a day? But if you want to be a successful trader, you're going to have to, you want to put the odds best in your favor. You need at least $25,000 plus in that brokerage account to make it easier for you, or else you're going to grind for a while in a smaller brokerage account, a CMEG, a Sure Trader account to get there, because you're going to have to battle that PDT rule and you have to grind to get it over and make more than that $1,000 a day. But don't have that $1,000 a day just because gurus out there have $1,000 a day, goal. They can have $1,000 a day goal because they have huge brokerage accounts. But guess what? If you made $200 a day, that's $1,000 a week or $52,000 a year income. $52,000 is a lot of money. It might not be $260,000, but $52,000 a year in most people's accounts would change their lives. Make sense? All right. So again, good news, I can go to dinner later. Bad news, I can't seem to shut up. All right. So trying to teach you guys, and I hope it helps you guys. Double bottom pattern right here. So here's a bottom, here's a bottom. Now it gets a little bit messy up here. And then you can see, okay, I see a pattern. It could go up. It's choppy, it's messy, and then the intraday chart is garbage. So then I'm like, it's, man, I don't know if I want to put that one on the watch list, right? Not looking so hot. HLX. So HLX, why I might potentially look at this is I can see a cup. Here's a clearly defined cup. I can find, come on. Here's the tops of my cup, right? Now you can kind of see here, kind of do a little bit of a handle-ish down. Not perfect. It's not a great looking handle. Kind of get this area. You can kind of extend it out over here. It's a little bit choppy, but it's, again, look at a cup. Kind of see some pullback, some getting a little bit messy over here. At this point, even though it's not perfect, what you can see is if this is going to continue upwards, you can see the price is going to have to get above this area right in here. Then it's going to have some resistance between 850 to 870. So is this one to watch? I mean, just because honestly, guys, the watch list just sucks for tomorrow. I'm trying to give you guys something good to watch. I don't love it, but I want to see it continue, get above these areas. And you can see 850 to 870. So 813, that might be able to get to 850. You know, maybe there's a 30 to 50 cent potential move if it can break. So again, I'm trying to find these patterns. Sometimes they get messy. Watch over here. I'd say between 850 to 870 area. So let's do this. Price in cup and handle. Watch for, I'm going to put candle-ish. All right, guys, I like to put that at price and cup and handle-ish, because I want to get you guys know it's not a perfect cup and handle. It's an ish. Here's an ish. Here's a new terminology. If Barry's listening, Barry says anytime I say garbage, he's going to take a drink of a stock. So maybe I'll have a new saying here. Anytime I say ish, take a drink, because many patterns are ish. Or resistance is ish, because it's not going to be necessarily perfect. You got to kind of gauge an eyeball. Support and resistance is not going to always be perfect. Price in cup and handle-ish. Price in couple handle-ish. Watch for resistance between 850 to 870, and I'll put ish. I'm going to stick with a trend because it's kind of a iffy-ish chart, right? Trying to find something to watch for you guys. HLX. Just reading some of your comments. Guys, there's many other great courses by many other great companies out there. We are not by far the best. Are our courses free? Yes. Are other people's free paid courses great? Absolutely. Some people like paid, some people like free. So hopefully our info is helpful to you. Thank you, guys. Love seeing... I love the comments. You guys are great. All right, so HLX, BTE, let's see. So you look at this, right? So VTX, I look at this, and this is where it gets a little bit messy, right? You can kind of draw my patterns here, right? What do you see here? Bull pennant. But look at like just this 9, it's a big candle, 1030 down to 911. This is it's a mess. So look, this can definitely go and break out. It's just a little bit, the risk management on this is nasty, right? You know, so this has a good probability at some point of breaking out higher. It's just you have this high wave candle and these spinning tops and doji candles, which make it difficult. So this is where I try to avoid putting something like on this to trap you guys, because this is a big candle, right? And this is a messy intraday pattern. So I want to show you guys, though, these are the things I'm trying to find you guys. The patterns on the daily breaking out with areas to resistance, or, you know, room for resistance. So I like this pattern, but I don't like the risk management on these candles, right? All right, so FCSC, no, SRRA, no, BLPH. Ugh. Again, so guys, I look at this chart and you're like, I see this, and this is the stuff that I'm like, ugh, I don't like it. You see all that choppiness and all those candle wicks everywhere? You know, so then let's draw a pattern. I just drew a pattern. What did I do? I connect peaks. I connect valleys. I have, voila, kind of a symmetrical triangle-ish pattern. Symmetrical triangles are not my forte. I do not like them. They really mess me up. But again, why would they mess me up? Well, look, the indecision. Boom, 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 yo-yo effect, right? Some people are good with those, right? That's not my forte, but hence, all this craziness that's bouncing around in that symmetrical triangle. Yeah, if you do trade ideas, again, there's no need to get their advanced one. Their basic one is fine. Again, you might like some of the features. Some people might like the features of the advanced trade ideas and the Holly thing. We don't ever use Holly. We hear it's good. If you want to try Holly, great. If you're new and you're just looking for a really great scanner, their basic standard one is awesome. Price has a gap. Price is in the gap. A little bit messy right now. What do I think about this one? I don't like it. I'm not going to put it on. ACET. All right. So here is something I would look at. But then here you go. It's a 5-cent spread stock. I'll guarantee it. And why is this a 5-cent spread stock? Am I right? Yes, I am. Why am I right? Look at these crappy looking candlesticks. I hate these candlesticks. I do not trade these 5-cent spreads. Not my style. Now, did I like looking at this because it's a big cup and possible handle? Yes. Can you make money on these 5-cent spread stocks? Yes. I just don't like entering a trade being down 5 cents right away. Not my preference. Reading some of your comments. So Irina says, I was saying we should all make a goal to make $1 million with a timeline and go for it. That's a great idea. I would say let's all make a timeline to make 10,000 or 50,000. Make it more believable, right? You know, some people don't want to make $1 million. They'd be happy making 20,000, 30,000, 50,000. Make a goal to get your brokerage account over 25,000 so you don't have a PDT rule. Then make a goal to make 300 a day. Then make it to 500 a day. Then 1,000 a day. Then when you're making 1,000 a day, maybe you up it to 2,000 a day. At that point, to make $1 million, it's going to take a long time. Can you do it? Absolutely. If you're willing to bust your butt for several years, nonstop, study for hundreds of hours, make thousands of practice trades and real trades and discipline yourself and do it over years, sure, you can do it. Do I have $1 million in my brokerage account? No, I do not. So I have not made $1 million in my brokerage account. All right, so let's take a look at TGB. Exactly, $200 a day is $50K a year. I'll guarantee you, for the majority of people watching this video right now, $50,000 extra in their paycheck a year is going to make a tremendous difference in their life. $50,000 a year more in my account would make a big difference in my life. Would I like an extra $200,000 a year more in my bank account? Sure, of course I would. I wouldn't refuse that. But $50,000 makes a big deal in my life as well. All right? So what do I think about this stock? Exact. So Whistle just says, and $400 a day is $100 a year, $100,000 a year. Make the money and walk away. So that those numbers add up. $400 a day, yeah, that's $100,000 a year. Now you put $100,000 in your account. So here's the thing: if you know how to make $200 a day consistently, then you can make $400 a day. Just buy double the shares. But you have to be able to make $100 a day first, $200 a day, then $400 a day, not just go to 1,000. If you go right away to 1,000, you're going to get burnt. Unless you know exactly what you're doing, and you're not going to know exactly what you're doing until you practice trading for months upon months upon months on end, to make hundreds of practice trades, deal with all the emotions of trading, deal with the abilities and the ups and the downs and the losses and the profits and all that, profits and losses, and then you can have the grit to get through it. Please add search to your website. we do have search to our website. If you're talking to us, right down over here on the sidebar, search. What do I want to search for? Let me search for VWAP. Enter. And VWAP strategy. There we go. We only have one thing for VWAP. We have a lot, but we have so much more stuff being posted, but you can come down to search, and we also have categories. Let's take a look at those categories. Let's look at candlesticks. And you can see, wow, there's lots of candlesticks. There you go. So we do have a search, and we do have a categories. And again, guys, recent posts, we're always putting great, as much content as we can back for you guys over there. So make sure you take a look. Man, I really put myself behind here today. Let me see. Let's zoom in on this. I don't like the majority of the stuff I'm seeing here today, guys. I just don't. I don't like the indecision. Again, it's Friday. Tomorrow, it's a doji day. Today, I'm going to see if this one can break above at 135-ish. If it can break above 135, 172 resistance. Yeah, Arena, at some point we're going to change our website, right? We're not trying to be all flashy and fancy. At some point we might change the style of it. What am I going to say? Watch if price can get above 135-ish with resistance at 150 and 200 excuse me, I get the hiccups. 200 SMA. So watch if price can get above 135-ish. This area, resistance at 150, psychological support and resistance, whole and $half amounts, and then if it can get above that, price at the 200 SMA, that 172. TGB. VSAR, nope. Exxon, nope. VNet, getting very close to resistance up here. I like the inverse head and shoulders pattern. You can see left shoulder, head, right shoulder, right at this neckline at 950, getting close, a little bit overextended. It could go either way. It could go up and hit it and smack back down. I don't like how it's overextended. I'm just going to stay and walk away from that one right now. NDLS. Some resistance right up here about 995. Don't like it. GPRK. See some support. 1762, resistance at 820. Had a cup. Now again, a stock like this, you got a cup, breaks out. Many of times you get the handle, which is usually the pullback. So, this is one of those ones. It's a bit tricky right now. I want to see it pull back before it continues. So can it go up and break 820, 1820? Sure. Can it pull back the 1762 area? Sure. So I don't necessarily want to put that on the watch list. All right, so I got a couple more to take a look at. HPR. All right, so we have maybe a potential encouragement. I was about to throw in the towel here of this is complete garbage, but at least I see some potential recovery over in here because potential, right? Cup. Where's the cup? Control or do this whole area down like this. Handle pull back over here. Then neckline right here. Right up to 1889. What is that? What the heck is that? 1689 to 2074 is a gap. This one's going to be interesting if this goes and breaks into it. This is going to be fun to watch some potential volatility. So I see a pattern. I can see the handle, the cup, the handle. Now I need it to break up into 16 or 17, over 17, between $17 to $21. Let's see. So major, cup, and handle. Watch if price can break above top of cup and go into big gap between $17 to $21. Said, finally, give me hope for something that might be interesting to look at tomorrow, because this watch list is crap. And why is it crap? Is it because I'm crap? No, because, again, go back over here. Here you go. Why is your watch list so crappy for tomorrow? Because, oh, drum roll, please, doji candle on the daily. What is a doji? Doji signals indecision. Why is there a doji? Well, price is caught between support and resistance. Indecision phase. What day is tomorrow? Friday. Friday, you know, many times is going into the weekend. You know, tricky to trade. Lots of, I think the president's got his meeting with North Korea next week. So, you know, it's lots of things to create some indecision. Is it going to be great next week? Is it going to be bad next week? You know, we don't know. There's a candlestick. Here's some indecision. Got to watch and see what happens. But what do you watch? You watch candlesticks. What do candlesticks do? They form patterns. What do patterns do? They form support and resistance level. What does that mean? Support and resistance enables you to go back to what we talked to in the very beginning, trade in probables. Hope this makes sense for you peeps. Man, so as I'm about to end this stream, I see a comment that potentially triggers me, which is going to put me on a rant, I'm sure. Legendary Dragonal says, what are the best day trading stocks to invest in June? And then it triggers me because I would say, my instinct is to say none. And I say none because day trading stocks are typically small cap stocks, which are typically the garbage pump and dump stocks, which leads me to say those are not good for what? Investing. They're good for what? Trading. Does it mean that these small cap stocks can't go up and won't be good long term? No. You have to do good fundamental research. But when I say best stocks to invest in, I would never use the term invest with small cap stocks if you're referring to day trading. So what are the best day trading stocks to invest in? So maybe you're looking for what are maybe the best stocks to swing trade, or what are the best stocks to invest in general in June. So your question's totally fine, Legendary Dragon. I guess you could say, what are the Whistle said all of them. I mean, I guess that's true too. If you're looking for what are the best day trading stocks to day trade, that's a different story. But I personally, again, I said I would never use the word invest with a small cap stock because most of them are garbage. Can some be great long term? Sure. Do your fundamental research. I am not a fundamental trader. I am a technical trader. I teach you guys support and resistance. But always remember, guys, very important, fundamental traders and technical traders do their thing. And what do? When they do their thing, they leave what? Clues. What are those clues? They are candlesticks. What do those candlesticks do? They form patterns. Those patterns enable me to trade improbables because they are support and resistance. So even though I am not a fundamental trader, I can trade stocks using the technicals because the fundamental traders leave a footprint. And that footprint are these patterns. So even though I'm not a fundamental trader, I can use patterns of a fundamental trader to find support levels and then know resistance levels, right? I can buy at support, sell at resistance, let people play it all out, leave the patterns, leave the clues, buy and sell and repeat. If I want to go long term, I can look at fundamentals, look at support, buy, see resistance levels, and hold to the place of resistance. I'll sell near resistance levels, take my profits, watch for pullbacks, look for reentries, wash, rinse, repeat. People need to get the idea that we're not investing, rather we are trading. Yeah, good point, Willie. Yeah, I mean, we are a trading company. We are not investors. We are not financial advisors. Read our disclaimers. We're not telling you when to buy or sell. We're not telling you how to manage your 401k. We are not investors here in our community. We are traders. Do some of us have long-term investments? For sure. Absolutely. Right? 401ks, all those types of things, IRAs, good stuff. Yeah, all that good stuff, right? So again, you're not bringing in the same mentality as an investor as you would as a trader. Traders support resistance, buy at support, sell resistance, take your profits, wash, rinse, repeat. If you're looking to hold longer term, then you're looking at more investment type of stocks. All right, guys, I have leaving myself. I can't seem to shut up. And now I'm leaving myself a mad scramble, a mad dash to take a shower and go and eat and all of that good stuff. So tonight, I will not be going late on the carbs again. I will be getting a big Italian dinner. I'm going to get full. I'm sure it's going to be good food. And then I'll be back at it for you guys tomorrow, keeping it going for you. Again, you want to know about us, come to our website, our trade rooms, our alerts, our watch list, our bunch of free courses. Guys, if you're new, right? If you're new, you want to know what to do if you're new, go to our courses, take our candlesticks and advanced candlestick course before you do anything. And then after you learn candlesticks, which these courses will probably take you a month or two to go through, then you're going to say, okay, I get candlesticks. I understand that now. I like those patterns. Now you're going to determine, okay, are you more interested in day trading or swing trading or options? Then you'll take one of those courses, right? You have courses that'll keep you busy here for the next 2 to 3 months. If you're new, don't trade with real money. Don't get caught in the hype of trying to make money in the stock market when you don't know, if you're new, candlesticks. Think about it. Am I going to go as a doctor? If I want to be a doctor, am I going to go perform surgery on somebody before I've been to school to become a doctor and before I practice? That'd be stupid, right? I wouldn't do that, right? Would I go cut somebody open with a knife when I've never been, to medical school? Absolutely not. After I get out of medical school as a doctor, am I immediately going to go and open somebody up? Probably not. I've never been to medical school. I'm just assuming after that doctor gets out of medical school, he's probably going to be able to go shadow and kind of be with other doctors that are probably going to be near that doctor when he goes and cuts that person open, right? I'm going on a rabbit trail on this one. I hope I'm right on what I'm saying here. It just would make sense, right? You got to practice. My whole point being, he's got to practice. So after you go to school and you start learning trading, what the heck are you going to do? You're going to open up a virtual account like a Thinkorswim and Interactive Brokers or another company, and then you're going to do what? Practice. And what are you going to do it with? Other traders. Join one of our trade rooms and practice with our trade rooms until you do what? You feel comfortable. Until you do what? You can take that knife as a doctor and open somebody up with comfortability because you have experience. And that's when you can start trading with real money, when you are successful and you feel comfortable practicing. Man, I think that analogy is pretty good. If not, sorry if I grossed you out talking about being a doctor and open somebody up. I think it worked. I am done. I am tapped out. I will see you guys tomorrow. Happy trading, and I'll talk to you all later. Enjoy.